and excited to see what they're working on. Welcome to the Santa team. How are you guys doing?
GM, doing good. Thanks for having us, everyone.
Awesome, man. Glad to get you guys. This is for a
Hello,
while we
hello.
wanted to get you guys on the show, so I'm really glad we got you today because we've been observing. You've been, I would say, like an OG, one of the more OG ICM projects that came out of Believe. I think have you guys since migrated off Believe?
Yes, so
Recently, right?
we actually just like I think 48 hours ago, we're like 100% independent of any launchpad. We're just like collaborating with Meteora, of course, and we've sort of like the first class of the V1 that is actually basically launching use Believe 6 months ago, TG 6 months ago, and we've been really focusing in building and shipping.
Love it, love it. Do we have June with us or
Yes,
Yes,
I think
yes.
June is
Hello,
it.
GM, everyone.
GM? How are you guys feeling? How's it been? You guys, the charts looking nice. It seems like people are starting to pick up a bit on Santa, what you guys are building.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm feeling good, but yeah, just steady building. A lot of tasks in the backlog right now. Need to deliver a lot of features in the coming weeks.
Sweet, dude. I love it. Let's dive into it. Give the people what they want. Get a better idea of what you guys are building. Let's start with whoever. Maybe Joom, I guess, since you were just talking. We'll start with Joom. Background on you, and then how do you pronounce it? Gulanio
Jume,
or
my name is Jume. Yeah,
Jumi, and then Gulanio.
Giuliano.
Giuliano,
Ju.
but like everybody calls me G.
G. Okay, there we go. My G. Love it. All right. Can we get some backgrounds? Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah,
Joom.
okay. Let me start. Yeah, thank you, Dom. I'm Jume. Um, I started my journey in crypto 2017. I joined a few ICO, technically multiple failed ICO back then. 2017, failed to getting rich. 2018, just doubled down on building or become a product manager professionally. Build an exchange, a local exchange, and then build wallets for like a few years there until working on stablecoin company. It's called StrateX. That's basically stablecoin issuance company based in Singapore. They issue XSGD, XUSD, and also XADR back then. And let my last working experience working at Kyber Swap. I believe they are number one DEX aggregator right now in EVM, at least. Working there as product manager. But the past 2 years, I focused and doubled down on Solana. Initially as a trader or degen, when the meme coin hype, when the meme coin pump fund and so on. But it turned out my passion is still building a product, especially on-chain product. So I built a lot of multiple experimentation, especially the past 1.5 years. Until this year, yeah, we built Sana or Sanafi on chains, or we call it Sana now. Yeah, especially the past 6 or 7 months, I'm full time building Sana right now.
And so, G, before we get into, I kind of want to touch up on that too, Jumi. So you worked with stable coins, you worked with exchanges. It seems like everything you did
Yeah.
leading up to this point has perfectly maybe positioned you for Santa and what you're building now. Can you just give us a little insight on how that experience is helping you build what you're building today with Santa?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I think when you build a product, right, you got a lot of maybe a success point, but also so many failed story, right? So I think it's reshaping my point of view and perspective regarding how building crypto product, especially yeah, stablecoin related or on-chain product. I might know there's some angle that we want to tackle. It could be the problem, but at the same time, the opportunity as well that we want to explore, especially for Sana. and especially building in public need what I say, right, extra effort, but also extra attention, because people are looking for your what you deliver and what's how you communicate your product. At the same time, you need to deliver real product to make people confident on you, right? So I think building crypto already reshaped my skill, my point of view, and now building Sana, I think is totally based on experience, but also on the right time for Sana as a neobank and also stablecoin chain in the market.
Lovely. G, you can take it away now.
Got it. Thanks. Thanks for having us one more time. I think it's been a pleasure looking at like you guys, MCG, bringing like a lot of like this internet capital markets founders and just like telling their story from your platform, right? Like so. My name is G. My last 9 to 5 job is the head of Asia at Coinbase. So I got very lucky to be able to experience the 0 to 1 building layer 2 of base with Jesse Pollack. So I'm the only non-US team expanding their ecosystem and like building everything until I exit the company when base is close to like $2 billion TVL. And since then, I actually open up my own family office where I do my own liquid funds, where the 95% of the portion is basically focusing in pushing Solana ecosystem. And that's where I sort of like met Jume as well, and like pushing together a lot of stuff, co-create a lot of stuff as well, until it leads to, hey, I think just doing very successful in multiplying your money, it's one thing on Solana, but another thing when you are becoming a founder and building a net positive for the ecosystem. So before building Sana, we actually help a lot of founders as well to get on board within the Solana ecosystem as well, especially in Asia. But the most interesting story is my journey with crypto. It started at 2016. I purchased my first Bitcoin in 2016. And since then, it's more into like a bit here and there angel investing. You make money, you lose money, and you learn a lot since then. So you've been able to see a lot of stuff, a lot of moving pieces, and all this journey is leading to Sana. And I think the most interesting part is not only about myself and Jume. I think a lot of stuff about why Sana and why we built Sana, right? I think after this you may be able to tell a bit more, but I think there's a lot of stuff about I've been traveling across countries a lot, and I spent my past 2 years living in South Korea without an access to a bank, because it's just very hard for a foreigner to have a bank. And I think there is a time where I thought that, oh, it might be nice for you to just like have one tool, one card, one app to just like be able to spend a lot of your crypto without an intermediaries like a bank, and how we want to enable that. And I think I share this pain point to Jume, and the rest is history. And yeah, that's something about me. But I think Jume, if you can tell us more as well about like why we built Sana in the first place, I think would be very interesting for the audience.
And real quick, just a personal question here. Your background at Coinbase, obviously very impressive. Interestingly, though, you left and went to focus more on the Solana chain. Is there any reason you are preferring Solana over Base?
So I think when I made my transition from Base to Solana, I think I told this story quite a few times with people like Kash, Super Team. I met Tolly once, and I told him as well. So the truth is, while I'm building for Base, I'm also looking at a lot of like ecosystem across EVM that is very interesting for me to play around. And long story short, while I'm building Base, I found Solana. And I think I made a big bet across my family office fund within Solana at $20. So I think yes, I'm building on base, but I think Solana is almost make me a semi-retired. Then I kind of like double click on that, like how I can give back as well within the ecosystem within Solana. And then I think when I double click, I go into Breakpoint, I met the super team. I think the ecosystem within is pretty much fun. And yeah, I think I just like, oh, maybe this is interesting for me to just like really build inside and see what's going on. And I think that's really like the key back then when so a lot of people in Solana kind of like knows me as like, oh, somebody who's very active at base and like suddenly built on Solana just because like he be able to make his money off Solana.
It makes sense. I remember my first time trying out Solana from EVM. I was a big Ethereum bull, and I know Chill was too, and we did a lot of our trading there. That's really where I would say, got our start. And then the first time I came over to Solana, when obviously Ethereum was kind of lagging, I was shocked by how fast it was, how easy it was. And it's one of those things, like, I just don't know if I could go back now, truthfully. And I think like a big advice I would give to any investors is like, try the protocols and platforms that you're investing in, because that's a very telltale way to know, if you're ahead of the curve or something is powerful. I mean, I would probably say the same for Santa app. But let's get into that a little bit more. I think you said Jimmy was going to take it away. Maybe give us the vision behind Santa app, what you guys are creating, and why you guys think you are the go-to neobank that everyone should be using.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the maybe original background is based on a local problem. I think right now, if you know the bank, especially in developing country, right, majority of the bank has has access, right, to the customer fund. So when there is a problem with that, in the most cases, the customers sometimes they struggle, right, to make sure the fund is secure, right. That's one thing. Another thing is because of the government in developing country, they have like regulation. If the account is dormant for certain period, they can categorize this account as the frozen bank account, right? And anytime this government, they can seize the money from the customer, right? So that's one of the original story. We see that everyone is deserve a borderless money and also a self custody, which is the first principle of the blockchain, the ownership. We want to make it available for everyone, especially our friends, our neighborhoods, or friends in our country, or even everyone that's want to have access to blockchain, but experience the same like banking, the normal banking that they have, right? So that's the original vision. So we want people to have self custody. We want people to have a borderless money, regardless their location. They can do business, they can do payment, and we wanted to more people to onboard to Solana and also DeFi via one single user experience, and they can get opportunity like maybe DeFi, yield, and so on later on, right? But the first goal is, of course, onboard everyone to experience DeFi, but at the same time, get the benefit and value in terms of self custody and borderless money.
I do have a question on this for our non-Asia based listeners that are based in the US. Like for us, when Tether was first getting a lot of traction in like 2016, 2017, people were like, oh, that's just crypto exchange adoption. Like it's just used for speculation. There's no real adoption there. But other funds like QCP Capital said, no. In Asia, actually, Tether and stablecoins are a legitimate way to get dollar exposure on your phone. Can you maybe just level set, like, what does crypto adoption look like in Asia around, even Sana as well?
Yeah, I think in my point of view right now, the adoption is pretty much good, especially in the grassroots, right? The stablecoin use case is mostly, I think, being used right now for some of peer-to-peer transaction, right? But the problem is the government does not accept stablecoin or even crypto as form of payment, so they only allow it to do it for like, yeah, maybe like cross-border transaction or even a peer-to-peer transaction, right? Without involving fiat. So if involving fiat directly, you might need a license or regulation, right? But in the grassroots, I saw a lot of adoption happening right now, especially the stablecoin use case. Could be like for business, cross border payment, or even the peer-to-peer transaction. One simple use case is in grassroots, people just buy USDT for trading on big exchange because that's not available locally or in majority Asia country. I think they use peer-to-peer USDT transfer to convert or to on-ramp to USDT or USDC and do
Yeah,
trading on top exchange.
yeah. Just to build on that, I think there is a lot of things that people, especially in the US, they're sort of like not getting it about how strong is US dollar in the terms of like the eye of the Asian countries, Asian retail. And I think getting a stable coin is one of the way for people to get a very strong exposure very easily to US dollar and beat off an inflation. That's one particular bucket. The second bucket, it's of course when you are doing it as a non-institution, meaning you and I like trying to send invoices, send dollar denominated, it's easier in stable coin. And I think that's why at the very beginning, USDT, it's sort of like taking a hit in some of like the Asia countries, and even if you zooming in to a continent like Africa, I think USDT is like a very big form of payment there. I think to Jume's point, in most of this, I think it's almost every Asia countries is not categorized as a regulated form of payment, but you cannot stop peer to peer. And that's also what bring us to our point why on-chain money app or a neobank is kind of like a very interesting for us. And I think I've been in crypto from 2016, and I think until now there is a lot of like room for growth for whether it's like mobile wallet, whether it's like neobank on crypto, whether it's just like a better form or a better front end for people to use it. And I think the total addressable market generally for this particular play, it's very huge. So getting a lot more competition, a lot of new brands to play along in this space is just very important.
Gee,
And I think, yep.
and when you say the
Go ahead.
TAM is huge, is there any limit to it? Like, would you envision a world where everyone kind of denominates in the dollar at some point via stable coins? Like, how huge is this vision?
Correct. I think if you're looking at, I think we have a number, Jume. I forgot the number. Is like, is it 1 trillion TAM or something like that? I have it for. Do you remember the number?
Yeah, I think on the bullish case, we are talking like 4 trillion US
4
dollar
trillion,
opportunity
US dollar
in
TAM.
2030, right? It's on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bullish case, but I think on the best case, maybe half, like 2
Yeah.
trillion or 1.9.
Okay. Okay.
On the
So
best
I
case.
think it's not about whether the market it's big enough or not. Like two until $4 trillion is like very big, but I think the speed to get there is very important. I think we've seen the growth year over year. I think is very big for people to keep using it.
Yeah, this on-chain, firstly, stablecoins and neobanks, I think have been the most excited I've been about an emerging meta, probably in recent times. It's just super interesting, and I think as an American, I've been a little bit ignorant and naive to the fact that there's so many people, and especially we have partners with Viva who are Bolivian based, and I think it really resonated with me, opened my eyes. Like everyone really wants to get their hands on the United States dollar, and they're willing to go to stable coins or different forms to do that. And like it just kind of opened my mind to the massive potential of this stablecoin market, and that people literally cannot bank in certain countries and do not have access to certain things. And this like opens that opportunity. It's really just mind blowing.
Yeah, I think also like the reason what we are building is so undervalued and it's so very important is because when you have an application like Sana, if you have an email, because we are using Privy, you have a mobile phone, you have an access to internet and some Solana, you basically have an access to a bank, right? In initially, and I think that's the original spirit of crypto, right? Like a self custody and just like doing your own thing, be your own bank. That's the original vision of like electronic cash, right? Like basically, and I think what we are trying to build here is like giving people an equal access. As long as have their email, mobile internet, a phone, and some Solana, they can just like do things. And then I think to your point as well, what we sometimes overlook is like Sana has been building for the past 6 months until TGE. And I think we are trying to come out live from a very simple basic version of like a dashboard, a neobank, into like right now an app. There's gonna be a card, there is a stable coin chain within, and I think into like a very maximum potential that we have. We also have our own stable coin, right? Like so I think there's a lot of roadmap within, and there's a lot of use cases, and that's what makes us very excited every morning waking up the past 6 months, self bootstrap this to just like build it. And I think the most important part is if you're looking at what we are building as an on-chain money app the past 6 months, this kind of things, if you're looking at into like a web 2 point of view, people could just like, oh, maybe they have an idea, they're trying to raise for 6 to 12 months, angel, pre-seed, they built their first MVP after like 6 to 12 months. But I think what we are trying to showcase here is like, hey, everybody, if you really have a serious problem to solve and like really genuinely wants to like build a positive net EV for the ecosystem, you can just like build things, raise money egalitarian way. And I think we are lucky enough the past 6 months we have a narrative that we call internet capital markets on Solana. So yeah, we're just trying to prove and show people we can do it.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. One thing I wanted to ask about, I mean, we're talking about the TAM and just how massive just a neobank in general is. Can you speak to just kind of what makes you guys different? We see a lot of neobanks kind of come into market. There's more than likely room for multiple players, right? But what features, what about you guys and what you offer stands out from the rest?
Yeah. Maybe I will add some on to that question. I think, for now, Sana positioning as neobank 2.0, right? Especially Sana app. Our initial goal right now is to onboard everyone. So it's mean that which value proposition that best for anyone is we try to mimic what's the banking value has. First, one example is we want to provide privates and privacy option, which is in blockchain. It's a bit contrarian compared to banking. Your privacy is transparent, right? Everyone can know your balance, can track your balance, right? So on that part, we want to provide a private mode. So when you do a payment, you do transaction, the receiver or the merchant don't know it's how big or how much is your balance, right? So that's one thing. Other than that, we try to provide like maybe like end-to-end solution, because end-to-end solution in terms of most of your bank initially try just to be like a stable coin and a card, right? But on us, we think that we should educate or onboard user to crypto as well, because at the end we want them to access multiple opportunity in DeFi and crypto. So that's why by starting having a wallet, card, and later on they can seamlessly access DeFi yield or DeFi strategy and so on inside one single app. It could be easy for them to access DeFi and comfortable for them to access DeFi, right? So we try to combine that, the privacy, the user experience, and the last one, of course, the maybe a fee and also gasless experience. But in our vision, we want like to be like a super app for neobank or on-chain banking.
Nice. So
And
you're offering multiple services that can kind of bring users in, keep them there. And I saw you guys. If you guys would love to, if you guys want to demo the product, definitely we're open to it. We can share your screen. So if you'd like to, just let us know.
you wanna
Yeah,
demo the feature, Jimmy?
yeah, I think I have a video.
While waiting on this, I think I just want to bring an importance of for non-US market, especially in Asia, when having a one-stop app is very important, and like the customer here is get used to it. So any super app is very common in Asia, and that's what we are trying to achieve here, to be a lot of different stuff within the app, and later on I think will be helping us a lot on the distribution game of this.
And when you say super app, you're basically saying an app with many different
Multiple things. Correct. So it's not only wallet and a card. It's the I think you may give a alpha on a house of yield. There's gonna be an AI that can do a trading for you. There's a lot of stuff within.
Jimmy, maybe walk us through what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, this is our app. Now it's still on internal testing. We have a few function there. We can play again. Yeah, we have a few function there. The few one we have like send, receive, and swap in the wallet, right? That's the few one. But the next version or the upcoming release, we will release the we call it V2 or maybe 1.2. We will have the Sana virtual card powered by Rain. So you can top up with stablecoin, your own card, and you can have your own virtual card. Technically, we can be on par with the rest of neobank by having a card. So user can simply top up, spend the card, but by spending the card, you will also earn rewards. This means the reward part will be powered by Sana. So it means every time you spend on Sana app, you get a reward in form of Sana. So that's in the video. Please expect soon. Once we are ready, in the upcoming release, we will have a Sana card and maybe Sana AI as well and Sana reward.
Okay, and so sure if you're still showing, but I'll take your screen off here. In terms of cards, we see a lot of competition to make the best rewards, right, for users, and we're seeing that through a bunch of different competitors. What are you guys doing to prioritize your cards getting used and giving great rewards to users? Obviously, outside of it's the Santa token, but maybe further elaborate on that.
Yeah, I think talking about that, we will talk about the distribution game later on. A few plans that we want to reward first the existing holder to get access to Sana card, right? And later on, I think since we are targeting retail, right, or the user that's want to spend their crypto or even stablecoin on chain via the card and the card is in the background is also self custody. You can withdraw and also top up anytime. To onboard user to use our card. Of course, we're promoting it beyond traditional crypto channel like X or Telegram. We will double down outside that because we want more user or external user, right, to use that kind of product on Sana card. And at the same time, again, we want to have like a reward system as well. The affiliate or referral, ideally we'll power it by Sana. So every time you onboard or promoting our app or inviting user to use Sana app and Sana card, you got a reward in form of Sana. We will combine this kind of strategy with the social media affiliates and also utilizing our Sana exposure. Sana token exposure.
And it seems like this token will have some sort of value outside of just being like a governance token or something. Maybe tell us what that utility will be. I see a few bullet points here on screen.
Okay. Sana initially we design is to as a default currency or in-app currency in our products. The first product is Sana app, so there will be like the in-app currency for Sana app, where people can use it, or you can redeem it, or you can earn it by using Sana app. You could spend on Sana app. You get Sana token. But at the same time, if we have AI yield or certain agent that need a premium access, you need to use Sana to access that. There's also another utility currency or product currency. One of the product is Sana app. We also might explore on another product to use Sana.
Got it. So you guys have a few things going for you. I mean, honestly, love this conversation so far. One thing that we wanted to talk about as well was just in terms of the growth that you've seen so far. We know you guys have been building for a long time. We've watched you guys since summer, actually, since early in the summertime when the show was just starting out. So amazing to see your growth. Can you speak to that a little bit? What users are you seeing? Revenue, all of that good stuff.
I think Jume can add it. I know we're short on time as well. I think what we are trying to build initially is just like we are trying to build the most organic token that we can have, and I think it's proven that there's a lot of our token holders and also our users that is part of a believer of Sana, which can hold for months and just like really enjoying what we are progressing in public. And in the terms of like models or even a revenue, I think we're gonna get a lot of revenues once the V2 is out, especially when user is basically subscribing to the card, essentially. And I think we're gonna get a lot of like revenue as well from a lot of trading activity inside the app. And I think connected this back to the rewards discussion as well. I think the easiest form of rewards that we can do for anyone, any retail, learning from the banking experience is actually a cashback, right? Like whether it's cashback is in the forms of Sana, or we also have partners with Sanctum on our LST on Sana Soul. We could also give a rewards or a cashback in the terms of Sana Soul. So I think there's a lot of like multiple revenue opportunity that we can have, and a lot of multiple venue to get new users coming in. The fact that we have the rewards, the Sana token, and a lot of stuff coming within the app.
We have a question that popped up, and actually this prompted us to tag you guys to have you on about halal investing. Can you maybe speak on how big that market is and what role that plays? And I see ethical investing, but yeah, if you want. address that.
Jume, over to you. You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. What is the question?
The question was on halal investing or ethical use, just for a mostly Western U.S. audience. Can you give us a little information on that?
Yeah. I mean, personally, as a builder, I have a few principles, right? So when building a product, so we try to, replicate that kind of principle for a few product. The goal itself is we want to serve anyone, right? So some people or some audience that's concerned about halal or ethical, they might be not want to touch crypto or don't want to touch maybe stablecoin and so on because they're concerned about it. So for us is our job or to build a product that can access or it can serve anyone, regardless the concern, regardless the religion, regardless the border, right? That's why we want to make it borderless for anyone in any country or even any belief or any religion. But for to serve that, we will practice a few principles in terms of designing the product to be more transparent, to be more ethical, to be able to serve this kind of audience that focus and concern about crypto or about stablecoin. Is it halal? Is it not ethical? Right. Again, for me as a builder, that's my job to serve anyone, regardless the belief.
Yeah, just to add on that, I think if we're talking about the market size, the neobank that we're talking initially, it's around like $4 trillion market cap. But if you're talking about like an ethical finance market, at the number right now, it's like 7 to 10 trillion. So almost double than that. And I think it will grow to like 35 to 50 trillion dollar market cap by 2030 probably. And I think the initial thought process that we have why we even touch that part is I think right now if you want to onboard a lot of like a Web 2 users to Web 3, there is a lot of like a untouched market cap within the ethical part, meaning that we are solely also while we are building a very cool product on the neobank side, we also like how we be able to tap in a spillover, even like 1% of that, for example. And I think then we sort of like put that into our product principle where, oh, what is a lot of things that people care about within the ethical finance? We study a bit where do they get the yield and what's the principle within that, and we put that into a lot of things that we built. I think if for the US viewers, if you double click on requests for product from Brian Armstrong in the past 2 years, he ever said something about safer DeFi. And safer DeFi is sort of like almost a double click on a lot of like things that is ethical, not really halal, but like more into like an ethical yield type of thing. So a lot of those things we are trying to incorporate in how we want to like put our product principle within.
Nice. We're coming up on time here, so I want to kind of give some future-looking thoughts for what's to come, what you guys are most exciting about, and what's coming next. So maybe give us an idea of roadmap. You guys mentioned, AI agents. You guys mentioned maybe there's some sort of stablecoin chain coming. Just give us some whatever you guys feel like saying, maybe on the roadmap here.
Yeah, let me start first, and I'll let Jume to close if I miss anything. I think a lot of things that I personally excited about is the V2 when we be able to basically show people to spend and give a rewards. But I think more than that is the privacy features that we're gonna have, meaning that you be able to send a stable coin on a privacy mode on Sana, and if that's really coming live, we're going to be the first on-chain money app on Solana that enable a privacy transfer directly on the app. So that's one thing that I'm very excited about. Over to you, Jume.
In real brief terms, is that through like ZK proofs, ZK snarks? How does that work? If you have any idea.
Jimmy?
Yeah, we are using on
Just-
third party. Yes, the use a ZK proof for that. For private transaction, even a private swap. For third party, we cannot refill here. It's confidential, but of course, it's using ZK technology. It's on-chain, 100% on-chain.
Gotcha.
And what's your most exciting about give the audience some alpha if you already give the alpha on the privacy with ZK?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we will have a card, right? That's pretty much obvious. But for me, one of the most exciting part for me is Sanachain plus Sana USD. It will not come soon, but it gonna be something that will make us different compared to other neobank. We will have like end-to-end, let's say maybe like supply chain from chain to stablecoins. So it's mean we try to really mimicking how the bank works by having our own ledger, despite we are using Solana as well. We have Sana Chain as well, which is already on testnet right now, with maybe almost 80 million transaction on testnet. And we will have Sana USD, which is make me pretty much excited because this Sana USD will be later on, maybe next year, I think, our own default stablecoin. It can be used for our growth. It could accelerate the yield as well for the users. At the same time, it could grow, our TVL, even the other opportunity for revenue stream, and so on. Right? I think that's one of maybe alpha that's we haven't really announced it, but we have worked with few partners right now for Sana USD.
And the last one, I know we need to close this out, but I think if you imagine we are building everything on this in public via internet capital markets narrative, and we've just building this the past 6 to 7 months. I know we have like a very big competition within us, around us, which is Avicii, and they've been building for quite some time, 12, I think probably like 24 months or 12 to 24 months before us, before even the TG. And I think we are trying to speed things up in whatever that we are trying to do. And hopefully, when the time comes, we'll be able to give a proper competition, if not yet. And let's see, I think the more the merrier. And once the user we have the distribution game on, and let's see what's gonna happen. I think it's only gonna be more exciting, and everything is just a beginning.
Competition is good, and look, you guys are in the right narrative. Look, we see Neobank Revolt boost valuation is 75 billion ahead of potential stablecoin launch. The money's there. You guys are doing it. So we appreciate you guys coming on. You dropped some alpha at the end there, talking about V2 private swaps, your Sana USD, your own stablecoin chain. There's a lot to wrap our heads around, but we appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks you all. Appreciate it to be here. Appreciate it again to have us.
All right,
Thanks, G. Jume.
Thanks for coming
Catch
on.
you guys later.
Thanks. Bye-bye.